Let me start off. Welcome to Top Shift number 91, and we are broadcasting live from the shiny Sidewinder as we crawl towards Colonia. Now, I apologise for not having done this for a couple of weeks, mostly personal circumstances and other things. And unfortunately, due to events that have happened this week in Manchester, I wasn't even able to do live radio. It's been quite an exhausting week, to be honest. Everything is all higgledy-piggledy, up and down, and nobody really knows when the uncertainty is going to end. So we're just having to make the best of it. It's just one of these things. You just have to take it as it comes. Obviously, living in Manchester with everything that's happened in the last week, you can imagine that it's put a few things in perspective for quite a lot of people, myself included. And having to explain to the young'uns about what's happened has certainly been difficult. So it's good to escape from every now and again. Yeah. I was nowhere near the incident. The first I heard about it was obviously through Facebook, and then the news and all the rest of it. It's hard to get your head around because you expect it to happen at other places. And not much more to say on it than that. Fully trust the cops that are doing the work that needs to be done. We've got, in the local area, we've got a fireman who's been on nights for the last couple of weeks, and he's shattered. I think all the emergency services have been really giving it their all. So, yeah. And one of the things I really don't like is when real life interrupts this kind of stuff, but, it happens. Hopefully by sometime next week we might get back to some semblance of normal, but I don't think normal's going to be about for a little while yet. But I think we're going to manage. You've got to, really. So, in Elite Dangerous news, as I crash into this planet, Zach Antonacci was on the forums late last night, and he made a couple of announcements which got everybody excited. And I went straight past that planet, which is the very one I wanted to check. I do apologise for having to look down every time. It's because Twitch no longer works properly on the Xbox, and I have to look down at the chat. I have with me in the chat room tonight Selazin, Dave, as I know him. He is the author of the Elite Encounters role-playing game, of which we worked on a couple of things. Loop of Shame, yes, Loop of Shame. That's a high metal content world, so we'll have to think about moving on to that. And he's working on it even as we speak, so I don't want to be that much of a distraction. There's nothing more here in this system, so we'll start looking on to the next one. So yes, Zach Antonacci put up a progress report, or what to expect report for the future of Elite Dangerous. Now, over the last couple of months since the release of 2.3, the amount of community engagement has turned quite aggressive. Call it salt mining, call it whinging, call it whatever you want to. It has been noted that, you know, the community isn't as friendly as it used to be. And I'm sorry, Dave's actually bombarding me with Babylon 5 quotes, which is just wrong. So, in order to answer some of the critics and give the community a little bit of a headliner, he brought us up to date with the updates which are coming for 2.3, what we can expect for 2.4, and what happens after 2.4, or beyond, as they're calling it now. So for 2.3, we have one more big point release to come, and that will be released sometime around, well, on the 27th with the PlayStation version. Wow, there's an awful lot of big gas giants around here. So 2.3.1 will be coming with the PlayStation. All we know about that one is that it will have the multi-crew weapon lock functionality on it. What happens after that, we don't know. They're keeping, as per usual, Frontier being very quiet about what functionality could be coming in there. But we do know that that will be launched in sequence with the PlayStation release on the 27th of June. But they have said that they're going to be a free open beta for everybody in the run-up to this release. Now, this does indicate that there's going to be more than just the one little fix that they're putting in. So I think this one's going to be quite a big patch before 2.4 comes out. They might be putting in more functionality that will help with 2.4. Are they going to make multiplayer work properly? Cough, instancing cough. Well, this is the thing, Dave, about instancing. I must be one of the luckiest players in the world then, because I don't have the matchmaking errors that everybody else seems to, both on the Xbox and on the PC. I don't know whether it's because I'm on Virgin Media and I've got a really good and secure connection, but I must admit I'm quite satisfied with the connections that I've had so far. I know there's a lot of people there that suffer, but I don't know what their experiences are. Well, I know what their experiences are, but I don't know what their network setup is, if you see what I mean. Oh, I'm not heading out there. Let's go move on to the next one. But yeah, I mean, they're always working on the instancing, aren't they? But I must admit, the multiplayer, I've not really had any problem with the multiplayer. It's actually been quite impressive, I thought. The multi-crew, I mean. So, you know, when I actually do get a ship to fly in, I've normally had a blast in the multi-crew. The issue that I've got is that I'm not going to open up any of my ships until I can lock the players down to make sure they don't. Well, I don't know what the phrase is really. It's the phrase of where you're made to be wanted because of their actions. Basically, dick players, in other words. No, I'll just explain here. Dave just said that it's not the connection problems. It's the stability of being in the same instance as another member of your wing / crew. People dropping out. Now, that's the thing, because I've never actually experienced that. Like I said, I felt I must be one of the luckiest people not to have suffered from these disconnection issues. I mean, I get the occasional mismatch, you know, the mismatch error, but, you know, I suppose it hasn't bothered me when it counted, if you see what I mean. I suppose that's the real kicker. You're halfway through a mission and you lose your instancing. Yeah, that would be a pain in the arse. Let's get round here. Need to get fuel. Now, for those of you who have been following the exploits of the shiny Sidewinder, you notice I'm down to 80%. Let me just say, landing on a 2G planet is not good for an unshielded Sidewinder's health. Anti-special. Yes, I guess I am. And I know I'm special, Dave, so... yeah. This is one of those times I wish I could put the chat up and record the chat as well, just so that people can see the abuse that I sometimes receive from people. Ah, yes. So, let's see. 2.4. Now, this is interesting about 2.4. When we were doing the Formidine Rift, see, got it right now that it's all over and done with. What would happen was Frontier would release a little bit of plot or a little bit of exposition with every single point release. Now, the impression that I'm getting from that one email from Zach is that there's going to be a lot more of that with 2.4, and they're going to announce a lot of these details at E3 in just, I think, the 15th, 16th of June. So that's going to be interesting. See what they come up with. I have a sneaking suspicion that the plot, or the suspected Thargoid or alien invasion, will be rolled out using this method. Because what would happen is that people would solve a Formidine Rift problem, and then they would release a little bit of extra content, and then move on to the next stage. But you couldn't move on to the next stage until the point release was ready, which was a bit of a pain because it was a bit stop and start. But if they're going to do more of these updates, then hopefully the plot will move along a little bit better. And that's what a lot of people have been calling out for. They've been calling out for some kind of major plot developments, because for the first year it was very, very slowly building, and for the last 2 years of Horizons, it's been, we've had moments of excitement and then nothing for months. So, you know. Yeah, well, I will be, the next top shift I'll probably be doing on the Monday night from the PC. I've worked out how to get Twitch working on the PC again, so that's going to be a good one. So, Dave, you're quite welcome to join me on Skype or on TeamSpeak for a top shift live. So, if you want to bring people up to date with how things are going with Elite Encounters, then yeah, you're more than welcome to. Ooh, 10 new objects. Dave is also the only person I know that you can actually hear the sarcasm in his texts. It's, oh, that looks a boring lot of planets. Everything's beige. Ugh. Right then. So 2.4 does look like it's going to be a lot of updates. Now, this is pure speculation on my part, but I can imagine 2.4 being a lot of little updates. Which will take us up till Christmas. And I think that's when the next season, or Elite Dangerous Beyond, or whatever they're going to refer to, will be ready. What is in Elite Dangerous Beyond? Well, I have no idea. They just said it's going to be very exciting. However, one of the things they did say is they'll be making a lot of announcements about it at a special event. Now, last year at EGX in Birmingham, Frontier put on a fantastic event that us at Lave Radio were invited to, and so were hundreds and hundreds of other commanders. And the official Elite meet, if you like, and it was quite a good night. And we saw quite a few exciting things that eventually made it into the game. I won't say that, you know, it was certainly, we saw the first thing of the character creator, and it took 6 months from that first sneak peek through to actually appearing in the game. So that gives you an idea of how much lead time or sneak peek time that we're getting. The downside of all this, unfortunately, is I was hoping to catch up with everybody at LaveCon. The bad news is I'm not going to be able to make it to LaveCon. It was always a bit touch and go because, unfortunately, that weekend is always spoken for, the 24th, 25th of June. Just like my daughter's weekend is also spoken for, and unfortunately it means that I can't make it, which is an absolute pain in the backside, because I can see the things that everybody are putting together for LaveCon. I would love to have brought down the miniatures game, because I've got new things to show off on it, and well, I mean, there's not much more I can say about that. I might be able to do some remote logins or Twitches, but yeah, I can't get to LaveCon either. Yes, I know, it's it does seem that mid-June, early July time period does seem to be very difficult. I mean, I've only managed to make 2 out of the 5, which is really. So yes, I mean, all these things for Elite Dangerous Beyond 2.4 will be announced at this special event, which, you know, if it's anything like last year's event, it will be fantastic. And I might even have to wear my hat again. Dave Cole. Actually, I've just got to read this out, okay? I propose that we miss LaveCon, says Dave, and work on putting together Dave Call. To which I say, yeah, I do see what you've done there, Dave. However, I would say that sounds like something that you give kids when they're sick. It does. It's sort of like really strong Calpol. No. So yeah, there's been a lot of extra new, a little bit of news. I think the only thing that I've been able to take from this, which I'm quite relieved about, is that Frontier have plans for Elite Dangerous after 2.4. Because I was worried with the amount of abuse that they were getting on the forums. They'd say, right, 2.4, that's it. We'll just put it into standby mode, or what's that phrase that they always use in MMOs? Maintenance mode. That's it. Where they don't develop any more content. They just keep the servers running. Oh, good God, 26 objects in this place. Anything interesting? We're looking for an Earth-like. And we've... Oh. Hello? What the heck is that? we're going to have to check this out after we've got some fuel. I'll just bring up to date with this. Dave has now said that Dave Call, where we run RPG sessions, miniature sessions, and other cool stuff. And we'll also have blackjack and hookers. Well, you might want hookers, Dave. I'm not judging. Blackjack, I'm afraid to say, we'd lose. The house would lose. I just know it. So, looking at where I am in in the wonderful world of Colonia, this is going to be so bad. I just know it. That's where the thing's taking me to. And this dot over here is where I need to be. So as you can see, I've got miles to go, and I've still got another. I don't even know how far I am away from Sol at the moment. I'm still coming across named planets and systems and so on. Well, if Dave thinks that my voice is nice and soothing, then thank you, Dave. I hope that it will help you be productive, and I will leave you to carry on writing. Happy lurking. After that, it's just a rocky body. Oh, boo hiss. Oh, I might as well get this gas giant identified. Then move on to the next. Another 12 light years to the next system. An M-class dwarf star, which sounds good to me. So until Frontier decide to spill the beans about the rest of it, we're basically stuck in a holding pattern until the 27th of June. Well, I suppose until E3, really. But nothing new in the game until the 27th of June. It has been noted, though, that there are a lot of hyper interdictions seem to be getting closer to the bubble. As if somebody is looking for something. Oh, no, there's an interesting planet. And nobody's got it, except it's miles and miles and miles away. None of these planets... Oh. Eye pattern has beaten me to one of them. So that is... That's too far away, I can't be bothered. Move on to the next system. Ah, funny you should mention that. Yes, the PS4 version is coming with new content, Dave. The PS4 version is going to be released at the same time as 2 sorry, 2.3.1. So what they're getting is 2.3.1. So we're all going to be on the same level, Xbox, PC, and PS4. The one thing that does make me a little bit concerned, of course, is that it does seem that the PC version is now slaved to the release schedules of the consoles. When before the Xbox version came along, we weren't. So I think that has contributed to some of the issues in the past, and unfortunately, I think it's going to continue. I mean, you can't blame Frontier for trying to get the game on as many platforms as possible. Nintendo Switch. No, I'm joking. No, seriously, I am joking. But you do sometimes wonder whether or not it would be nice to have things at a separate pace. But then again, they'll probably complain that it'd be far too much work otherwise. Hello, nurse. We have something. That looks like a water world. We've got to have a water world, surely. Interesting comment here again from Dave. Well, we can blame them. Quality should never be suffer when expanding. Expanding the user base at the same time as compromising the quality isn't a winning scenario. Well, it's not quality I've found to be the problem. I think it's the speed of updates which has been the problem. I mean, all the gameplay things aside, they did a fantastic job in fixing some of the errors that 2.3 kicked out, but I don't know. There was a couple of things that they could have got their hands resolved before it got released. I think that was the main bugbear. And again, I must be special because I never got hit by any of the bugs that caused everybody problems. Which is, I mean, you've got to be careful, especially if you're a developer yourself, because when I actually play this game, it's difficult to take my dev hat off because I am looking at this game and analysing it all the time and trying to work out how the heck have they done that? That is a fantastic piece of work, how they've done that. So when I actually saw the multi-crew working, and my jaw was on the floor because I knew how much work that was, especially with the insisting issues that they've had in the past. And we're going for a loop of shame. We have gone for the loop of shame. But I have said in the past, all the releases so far, they've actually added a lot more basic functionality that they hope to. I was right, it's a water world. I have got a water world. Yay! Well, we'll go past and show off this water world, even though I'm not the first to attack it. But it's nice to get a water world. Yeah, I mean, I must admit that's one of the things that I get really annoyed with, especially Foz knows this because this is how he pushes my buttons on the podcast. He just says, "Oh, but it's just a switch," which is typical management speak for I don't understand what's going on. Must be easy if you do it. So coming in close to this water world here. Oh, hang on. We've got the new vanity cameras, haven't we? How do these work? Heat sink. Oh, I've yet to set up my Hollow Me. for this guy. So if I do that, there we go. Oh. Oh, that looks lovely. It's not a complete water world. Oh no, it is, because that is an ice shelf at the top. You can see all the hurricanes and weather patterns. And this is one of the things about Elite Dangerous, and that gets me, I think, every single time, is that when you actually do look at the little details, you can sometimes get completely sucked into them. And there's the UI. Ah, I must have switched it off. Oh, fantastic. I'm better at this than I thought. And there we are. Right. Well, that was nice. I mean, this is one of the things about exploration, is that everyone keeps on saying, it's boring, it's boring, it's boring, and I completely agree. But every now and again, you come across a situation like it's a mountain range, or it's a sunset, or it's a vista that you were not expecting, and the game engine has rendered it unbelievably pretty. And you just sit and stare at it and think, yeah, those 50 or so systems it took you to get there, that was worth it just for that view. And that's really one of the things, the strengths of Elite Dangerous, is that sometimes you feel like you win even though you haven't gained any in-game credits or in-game rank or anything like that. You've just discovered something which is beautiful. And that's one of the things that keeps me going when it does go exploring. One of the reasons why we keep on doing it and keep on doing it. Even though this little sidewinder is taking forever to get to where I need to go. Elite has always been about the imagination. Yes, it has. It has always been about the imagination. You make up the stories in your head. And sometimes, other players help make the stories up as it goes along, which is always useful. And of course, if you're playing a role-playing game, then you've got a whole load of other people helping make the story as well. And actually, one of the things that I've really enjoyed so far with 2.3, and nobody's ever talked about this, are the chained missions. I've been playing them a lot, trying to grind up from my Imperial Clipper. And as soon as I finish this, I'll be going back on and running another couple of missions to try and grind up a little bit more towards it. But the chained missions, they've improved. Before, they just started with, you do something and you get an assassination mission. You do something, you get an assassination mission. This particular thing, now they've changed it so that, you do an assassination mission, they'll turn around and they'll put a chain mission up and say, actually, the last one, you only got as henchman. You need to go after the other one. Or this delivery, or this information that you delivered to this place has revealed that there's a data cache somewhere else in the system that you need to pick up. And you sometimes get this feeling of a little bit of a plot, a little bit of a thread to keep on following through. There's nothing tangible, there's nothing written on the screen, but you're beginning to feel like you're really contributing to that faction's help, or that faction's cause, when you start doing the chain missions. And I think that's one of the things that's been overlooked in this release. And that looks like a bloody boring system. So let's just fuel and move on. Right. Okay, where are we off to now? 35 jumps. Actually, you know, now would be a good idea, before we do the jump, to go to the galaxy map and find out how far I've still got to go. Because this system here... there we are. Awful. It's more than 1,000 light years away, and just know it. What is the control? Oh, have they gone and changed the control again for this? Because you used to right click and it would just... Hang on. Is that what we want? That one? No, that's the other one. So that is 879 light years away. That's the last station I was at. So it must be this one. It is, and we're 1,500 light years away from that in the moment. Oh, I'm not going to cry much. Actually, no, I'm going to cry loads. There's 35 jumps on this particular section, and that's only going to take me to within 1,000 light years, so that's when I can actually plot the route from there. So as you can see, it is a bit of a grind. What really annoys me though, and this is what I'm absolutely gutted about, I fell for a moment of weakness, and I bought myself a ship kit for the Sidewinder. I thought, oh, might as well make it a bit customizable before I head out there. Well, as I head out there. However, I bought it when I was about 1,500 light years away from the nearest habitable system. So I thought, oh no, as soon as I get to that lagoon, that blue system, I'll be fine. Though, it doesn't have the ability to add the ship kit to the fighter. So I've ended up buying a blooming ship kit, and by the time I get to a place where I can fit the ship kit, I'm not going to want to have the... Oh my goodness, this is a weird system. It is. This is a weird system that we've got. Gas giant heaven. You know, I'm actually going to scan this planet, see what's actually there. After, of course, we've got the fuel. There we go. That should be good enough. Oh, don't be so down on the ship kits. The ship kits are awesome. I've got one for my Asp. I've got one for my Cobra. Cobra Mark III. Actually, I made the Cobra Mark III look like the ship kit makes it look like a 1950s Thunderbird. It's really nice. And yeah, so I went and bought a ship kit for the Sidewinder on the Xbox. But as I've said, I can't fit it. I won't be able to fit it till I get to Colonia. And what's the point of that? Though, is yes, is the right phrase. Right. Nothing but really a high content world. High metal content world, but so I think what we'll do now is I'll start looking for a landable planet, because I always land on a planet before I start the next session. I think with the exception of the time before. Always find it a nice sunset to end the game on. Of course, the other problem is that I cannot change my Hollow Me until I get to another station. So at the moment, I'm going to have to put up Mr. Black face plane to face black face helmet. You know what I mean, Mr. Black Helmet, until we get there. Was that? This is an interesting thing. Something that you would buy in game is a slot to upload one custom decal, £2 per slot or something, to allow an SVG or PNG. Yep, and that would be a good idea. The only issue that they have would be to validate it, because obviously there's a lot of images that are copyrighted. So if you wanted the crest of the Rebel Alliance, you know, that is copyrighted by Lucasfilms. It'd be a nightmare. Nothing new there. Of course, this happens quite often, is that as soon as I say, right, we'll start looking for a planet to land on, I start hitting these single star systems for an absolute age. Okay, there's the fuel, the alarm. How are we doing for heat? Oh, we're all right. So only 80%. We didn't get cooked too badly.
Frameshift drive charging.
There's a lot of names that have copyrighted, but no one's vetting them. Actually, if Lucasfilm did decide to, there's not much Frontier would be able to do. They would have to deal with it on a case-by-case basis. Still going to be a nightmare. I don't want Frontier having to spend money on copyright and copywriting lawyers. They're very expensive. I know, I'm working with a lot of them at the moment. Ooh. What the heck is that? Shall we have a quick look? Actually, it's within 10 light seconds, so the scanner should pick it up automatically. Yeah, that world is so black. Oh, we've got to have a quick look at it. It's Goth World. I've discovered Goth World. Anarchy metal rich body, is it? I mean, atmospheric planets, I think that's one of the things I hope they do next. And when I mean atmospheric planet, I also mean gas giants. Imagine what it'd be like flying in amongst the clouds on a gas giant. Oh, that'd be beautiful. A lot of people are speculating that the next step's going to be space legs. I'm not so sure, to be honest. Because I mean, that has delayed Star Citizen by, oh god, what, how long? At least 3-4 years? They were saying we're still going to get Squadron 42 at some point this year. I haven't seen anything that will make me feel that they're going to have it ready. Oh. Oh, this is something evil. Look at this planet. Can't land in it because it's got an atmosphere on it, but wow. It's Mustafa. Down there'll be a former Jedi Knight having his legs burned off. Or was that too long ago? Maybe I need a galactic hyperdrive to reach there.
Frameshift drive charging.
Oh. There we go. Oh, hang on. I'm hoping that the next star system is fuelable. I had just realised I had jumped without fuel scooping. And to be honest, no, Dave, I haven't seen one of those up close before. And yeah, it looks evil. Ooh, 7 objects already discovered. That says to me that there's a lot of asteroid belts. 28 objects. Well, there's bound to be a planet we can land on here. Yep, there's plenty. And these planets here, that one's not been tagged by anybody. So they look reasonably small, so they should be okay to land on. So that's what we'll do. We'll land on that one, and we'll try and get a decent sunset.
Fuel scooping.
After, of course, we've fueled up full completely, because I keep on forgetting about that. Destroyer rules. Destroyer rules it basically is a term left over from the Vietnam War, where from ship drivers who were in charge of the escort vessels and the carriers at the Vietnam War. So, you know, the destroyers, the cruisers, not the carriers themselves. And of course, the smaller ships in modern day navies, all they do is basically their missile defense for the carrier, to make sure that the carrier is safe. And what the destroyers used to do is they always kept their fuel tanks always topped up. Any chance they got to refuel, all destroyers would always fuel up, because they never knew when they were going to need all that all that fuel for their for emergency maneuvers. Last thing you want to do is avoid a missile onslaught, and you run out of fuel halfway through. Right. So there's the sun. If I get this right, it'll look fantastic. Yeah, I must admit, again, I think I would prefer to have atmospheric landings first as the next big upgrade, not the space legs thing. It all depends on. I'm just scared of the No Man's Sky situation, because the amount of content that they'll have to generate for the life or, you know, any living creatures on these atmospheric planets that we come across. Oh, that's a lot of stuff to generate. Not especially if you want to make it good. Otherwise, it'll just look like the same parts on a body being recycled again and again and again. And we've seen in No Man's Sky, it runs out quite quickly.
Orbital flight engaged.
I reckon about there, perhaps. Actually, no, I've realised wrong thing. Down here. I don't know whether this is going to be a sunrise or a sunset, but I'm hoping it looks fantastic either way. Ooh, I think yeah, I think I overdid it. Pain. Might have to go back into Super Cruiser again just to try and get over the horizon. What? Forget it. Let's go down around about here. It's a 0.18 G planet, so you know, just a little less gravity than the moon's gravity. So it should be nice and easy to land on. Said that last time as well. What's this? Just include atmospheric worlds with no indigenous life. I suppose that's a... Yeah, because you've got sulfur asteroids and you've got sulfur atmospheres, and you don't have to have an oxygen-based atmosphere, do you?
Landing gear deployed.
Ah, it's nice to know. Nice bit of reassurance from Verity that the landing gear is down. Oh, oh. We have touchdown. That's always nice. Oh, I can hollow me myself here. Well, that's fantastic. And that looks nothing like me. I could be here for ages. Ah. Be rough. Ow. Oh, that is heavy. Skin base very pale. Take the freckles off. What freckles? Actually, I don't want to be very rough either. Oh. Why does it keeps on changing it to rough? That's not fair. skin detail. Oh, age. Nice. There. No scars. Okay, hair. Hair color. Oh, that? No, definitely not. More like that. Stubble, none. Hair. Has it done that? It keeps on resetting. Am I doing something wrong here with the settings? Beard, none. Beard color, pink. What? Start off. Keeps on resetting. This is annoying. Ah, oh, look at that. It's kind of turned me back to being white again. Hello. Da Vinci would be proud because I've created my command. Oh, come on, you sarcastic gits. I really hate these achievements sometimes. Right. Give me some decent hair. It resets it. Am I doing something wrong? Although challenge for me, find Jamie Lannister. Can you find Jamie Lannister? This is a slight problem. I have never watched Game of Thrones. So I don't know who Jamie Lannister is, even if he came up and bite me on the bum. Ugh. Green, orange. No, that's really for the orange sidewinder only, I think. Yeah. Okay. See what happens if I do this then. Hey, I think it might have done that now. Eyes preset. I want. Why? Am I just doing something wrong with this? I will have to. I don't want silver hair. And I want my hair color to be different. See, it resets it every time. You know, I'm just going to have to leave this for the moment. It's driving me up the wall. But thanks for joining me, and thanks to special guest Dave Hughes. Get on when you're writing, and I will catch up with you all at a later point. I've now just got to work out how to flip through to Twitch and switch everything off.